All right. This is actually a different voice you're going to hear today. This is Kevin. I'm subbing in for Ryan to do the auction results from last night. We had two big auctions with um, a lot of cards, a lot of star cards. You had formerly PWCC Fanatics, and you had Probstein had quite a few listings. There's still a few more. Coming out. I think it's going to end tomorrow and Tuesday. More from Probstein on that, but I think there's a PSA 7 101 that's already at around 51.4. I'm not sure I see that one going much higher, maybe 55 max. But I just wanted to get this content out while I was thinking about it. So first up, we've got the Fanatics PSA 6 that went for 33. You also had the one over at Probstein that ended at 34. They look very similar to each other. And the dark horse was the BGS 7, which in my mind actually is just as is an easy PSA 6 and just as good as the other two, but got for about 9 to 10 grand cheaper than the other two. So the big winner last night was the BGS 7, in my opinion. So again, you've got those are a little bit lower comps than normal. So let's take a look at the trends on here. See here on the PSA 6s, you've got starting in August, everything started going up. Well, actually earlier than that, sorry, about April of this year, but kind of went on this crazy upward trajectory, and now we're looking at all the way down from 55. This 155 one was like a beautiful copy, so I don't know if we can really count that in it, but the ones for 40 and 48 maybe, but 38.5 buy it now, then down to 33 and 34. So yeah, it looks like things are settling. Honestly, I see kind of your average sixes going between 30 and 35 in the coming 2-3 months. I'm not really sure if they'll stay around there. They could go higher, could go lower. We don't really know at this point. But I'm thinking they'll probably eventually settle around the 25-30 mark in about 6 months. But, what do I know? All right. So, and then the BGS 7, actually, if we take a look at that, let's see, did I keep it up here? Yeah. So the BGS 7, look at that, 24 grand. The last one we had September 11th was for almost 35. Then you had one for 34. So, which probably should have been around 34, 33, just like the PSA 6. But somehow people must have missed that one, and it got for 24. So a really good deal on that one, at least in the current market. All right, so that's the 101s, and let's go. Next up, we've got the Court Kings BGS 8.5. Now, interesting thing about the Court Kings is there was one fixed sale of a BGS 8 maybe about a month ago that went for around 14 grand on eBay, which I thought kind of was a mistake, or I'm assuming the seller had a high fixed price on there and just got a lucky buyer in the market who was maybe new and didn't realize kind of where comps were, kind of how things were trending. So I guess some private sales ended up jumping up to around 15 to 18K that I recall. But just recently you had two 8.5s, this one included. This one finished at 9,300 and then you had one for looks like 11.3. So yeah, 11.3, 9,000, probably around 10,000 average right now for those. Moving on, we've got the 195 BGS 8. Not my favorite personally. The way this card looks, very top heavy. So kind of 7,800 I thought was high for it, but based on comps, it's kind of around where it should be though. Here's the comps on the right if you want to look at it. 73, 9, 78. So right around in range for the current market. Moving on, we'll move over to the all rookie team, one of my favorite cards. This one actually is a really low pop. I think it's 70s, maybe upper 70s for the population for BGS 9 with only 3 BGS 9.5s. This one did pretty well. I actually thought it would do a little better than that. The last one sold for around 4,500. If I look here, yeah, 4,550, and then this one did 4,320, and the one before that 4,800. So I see it in like the four to 45 range. Because I mean, prior to the come up, I mean, this was selling easy around 3,500 average typically. So kind of a good increase. Never got too crazy, which is nice. So I can respect the sale on that. What else we got? All right, we had a couple of BGS 9s of the last 11 rookie of the year. I think one had one 9.5 sub and 3 9s, which did a little better at 3840. Then you also had one here that went for 3360, which I guess the surface grade was really the main difference at 8.5. Yeah, the other one had a 9 surface, same 9.5 edges, so pretty comparable to the other one. Centering to me looks a little bit better on the one that sold for higher, but 3840, 3360. Let's look at the comps lately on that. Yeah, it looks like pretty much in range for September, October. It looks like it is falling slightly or correcting slightly. You had it up around July at 5,200, 49, 45, 46, 43. And now it looks kind of like it's settling in the 3,500 to 4,000 range lately. So I want to keep an eye on that, see how those do. Personally, it's one of my favorite STAR Jordans. I just love the white background. Moving on, we've got the BGS 9 Slam Dunk Supers. Went for 3,000. There was actually another one. Find it here. Yeah, there was actually another one that sold as well with the same exact stubs and looked pretty much exactly the same as that one. Sold for 27.7 at Probstein, and then the one at PWC at 3,000. Let me move back here. Yeah, so the one for 3,000 and 27.7. Let's look how those have been doing. All right, so yeah, it started going up there. I think it got as high as 4,000, 4,100 mid-September, and has settled into the around the 3,000 point. So good price for the one on eBay there. What else we got? All right, so this one doesn't come up too often, but it's obviously one of a lot of people's favorite cards. The Checklist 5x7. It's got Jordan right there, which is a really cool card. 8.5. These, like I said, these come up privately more often than they do on an auction format. But auction format looks like the last time was in June at 900, where they're typically trading at like 900. And now this one went up to about 1470, 1500, which seems about right for the current market. Nothing too crazy, but still affordable. Good pickup there. All right, let's see what else. All right, we've got the Gatorade, which is hot right now. There was a 9 also, which I'll get into a little bit later, but the 8.5, yeah, it looks like they were going, wasn't really any recent auctions for it. This is the first auction in a little while. But 2760, so yeah, that's kind of what I would expect in this current market. Like I said, nothing too crazy, kind of your average value increase that I've been seeing, kind of more of a conservative value increase, which I like to see. So 2760, that was a good pickup. It did have 8 corners though, so no, was that the one? Let me see, was that the same one? Yeah, it did have the one with 8 corners, so that's probably why it held it down a little bit more. I mean, shoot, the BGS 9 we had. Let's see if I can find it here. Had a BGS 9, yeah, sell for 6,150. So those are hot right now in the 9s. Let's find that 9. If I look at the 9s here, yeah, so you had an auction in June for 6,000, then another one for 5,000, then this one for 6,150. So yeah, that one was pretty nice. I think it had all nines, 1 9 and 9.5 for corners. So I don't know, maybe a little high, but it is what it is. People like the Gatorade, so it's a hot card rate. Probably actually the one trending the highest right now, um, from what it used to be lately. All right, so what else we got? We got the Court Kings BGS 9. Oddly enough, there's the Court Kings are pretty plentiful in higher grades, BGS 8.5, 9s. They used to come up quite often, but the BGS copies have not come up in a while in the auction market. Mainly, all we've been seeing is PSAs. I know the PSA 8s have been averaging around 1,600 to 1,700 on the last four sales at auction, and this one did 2,280. It is a pretty nice Court Kings, I'd say. So I don't really have a problem with the price. There was an 8.5 that's going on right now that hasn't finished. I think already at Probstein that ends tonight or tomorrow night. That is around 2,000 already. So I guess people are trying to complete their BGS runs of the Star Collection, which I can understand. I did that once myself, and when you want something, you'll pay a little higher for it just to get it. And again, this one has not come up too often at a BGS 9 or 8.5. We'll look at the comps here real quick. Yeah, so right here, yeah, you had a best offer one for 2,400 recently, and then this one for 2,280. But prior to that, you could get a 9 for about $1,200 easy for the last couple years. It is a really good looking card, though. All right, let's see what next we got. All right, so I think that's the last one for Fanatics. We had the best of the new, one of my favorite cards personally. It was kind of trending pretty high, but lately it looks like it's correcting a bit. So this one went at 1,260, and yeah, as you can see, the one before it and at Golden was 1,708. But yeah, pretty average price for that one. Kind of what we've been seeing throughout. It's like August. They used to be around like $1,000, maybe $900, but they've turned it up slightly, so it's not taken off like a lot of the other star cards. So I think that's still a good pickup on these BGS 8.5s, so the best of the new. Like I said, I love the light blue border there. All right, let's go over to eBay. We've already seen the PSA 6 101, talked about that. We had something that hadn't came up in a while, many months. You've got the BGS 9 1985 Star Lite All-Star number 4. The normal one, not the variant, but typically the variant and the normal one kind of comp around the same. But I had one of these, or I actually had both of them before. I think they used to go for around 2,800 to 3,200. If I look at the comps here, yeah, 2,800, 3,200. This one went for 4,807. But you see, one hasn't come up since June. So that's kind of understandable that it would go for around that. But I thought it might have went a little higher. But 4,807 is a really good number. So congrats on the sale there. Next up, we had a BGS 8.5 Crunch. Now, this one did a lot lower than expected. Based on the last couple comps, around 3,600 it finished at. And as you can see here, you had one auction. I'm not sure how this one got 6,000. And you had one for 4,500. Then you had a best offer for 6,500. So, and typically this one would go for around 1,800 to 2,200. Kind of moved up to 3,000 in July. Like I said, 65, 45, 6,000, coming back to earth at 35.89. So that's good to see. What have we got next? I think this might be the last one. Oh yeah, we already talked about this. The BGS 9, you had the one go for about 28 and the other one go for 3,000. And yep, this is the last one. You had a like the Gatorade one, BGS 9. I think we talked about it already, but I went for 6,150. Hot card. I don't know. I see these maybe trending downward slightly a little bit, maybe in the 4 to 4,500 range. But I know maybe they're. Nah, I don't think they're going to cross it. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed my commentary for today. It was pretty bland, just giving you the details on the auctions. But it's good to see the 101s kind of calming down a little bit. Like I said, the PSA 7 is already at 51.4. I believe that ends tomorrow night. I think that could go as high as 55. So those are kind of hanging out in the low to mid 50s range for the PSA 7s. Some higher for the really nice ones. All right. Well, I guess Ryan will be back soon. You might hear me again in the near future. So this was just kind of a trial test. But yeah, market's looking good, settling down a little bit, but still on the up and up for those who bought in prior to April of this year. All right, so all right, keep on keeping on, y'all. Thanks for listening.